Senate confirms Professor Joash Amopitan as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Bandits kill 8 security personnel in Zamfara State. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi says government is set to review inmates granted clemency by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Kenyan police opens fire at crowds mourning the death of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, killing at least 2 people. You're watching Third Eye Africa TV. I am Juliet Onra. Here's the news. The Senate has confirmed Professor Joash Amopitan as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The confirmation came after a voice vote conducted by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and after undergoing screening and answering questions posed by the lawmakers. Amopitan had earlier arrived at the National Assembly complex exchanged pleasantries with senators. He was accompanied to the chamber by the governor of Kogi State, Ahmed Ododo, and other dignitaries before introducing himself to the senators for the questions and answer session to take off. Akpabio disclosed to his colleagues that the nominee had been cleared by the Office of the National Security Advisor after vetting. He added that the Office of the Department of State Services had also cleared him. The Senate President also said that the Office of the Inspector General of Police searched on him, cleared him, and said that he had no criminal records with the police. The screening session focused on Amopitan's vision for credible elections, his plans for institutional reform within INEC, and measures to deepen the use of technology in Nigeria's electoral process. Following his confirmation by the Senate, Amopitan will oversee preparation for upcoming off-cycle governorship elections and lay the groundwork for the 2027 general elections. A senior advocate of Nigeria and former dean of the Faculty of Law at the University of Jos, Amopitan is widely regarded for his expertise in constitutional and international law. The Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and the Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, has explained why inmates recently granted clemency by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have not yet been released. The AGF said although the presidential pardons were approved by the Council of State, the process remains incomplete and under final administrative review. He said the government is conducting legal and procedural checks to ensure all beneficiaries meet the required criteria before official release documents are issued. Fagbemi emphasized that the verification step is a standard part of the protocol and necessary to uphold transparency and due process. He said once the review is finalized, the Controller General of the Corrections will be authorized to carry out the releases. Recently, 175 convicts and ex-convicts were granted clemency, including individuals convicted of serious crimes such as drug trafficking, terrorism, and murder. The decision has sparked public concerns with questions raised over the eligibility of some beneficiaries. 8 security personnel, 5 policemen, and 3 community protection guards were killed in an ambush by bandits along the Gusau-Funtua Road in Safe local government area of Zamfara State. The attack occurred Thursday evening near Gidengia village, a few kilometers from Safe town. The victims were reported on a special patrol duty from Government House Gusau to protect travelers frequently targeted along the route. Sources suggest that the attackers may have received prior information about the movement of the patrol team. The bandits, after opening fire, fled into the forest on motorcycles, leaving all 8 personnel dead. The bodies were taken to the Federal Medical Center in Gusau. Governor Dauda Lawal has extended condolences to the families of the deceased and called for an end to the insecurity plaguing the region. The Edo State Police Command has arrested 8 suspected kidnappers and rescued 5 victims in multiple operations across the state. The arrests were part of intelligence-led effort under the Community Safety Partnership Initiative led by Commissioner of Police Monday Abonika. On September 23rd, police operatives and local vigilantes intercepted 4 suspects along the Uromi-Uweng Road. Following a tip-off, items recovered included ATM cards and SIM cards, a civilian joint task force uniforms, weapons, charms, and suspected hard drugs. The suspects were later charged and convicted. In a separate operation on October 14th, joint security forces raided Morgan and Michelin Forest, rescuing 4 hostages unharmed. That same day, another victim was freed near the Idengun railway track after kidnappers fled during a gunfight with police. Follow-up effort on October 15 led to the arrest of 2 men allegedly delivering supplies to criminal hiding in the forest. Preliminary investigations are ongoing to uncover the full network behind the activities. Police urge the public to remain alert and report any suspicious activities. The Katsina State Police Command has arrested an 11-man syndicate of suspected notorious armed robbers terrorizing people on Ishikawa, Charanchi, and Katsina Kankia Kano roads. The command's public relations officer Abubakar Alihu told newsmen in Katsina that the suspect had specialized in blocking those roads, robbing unsuspecting motorists. He said the breakthrough came when a member of the syndicate was intercepted while attempting to dispose of some proceeds of their heinous act, following a credible intelligence report. Alihu said acting swiftly on the tip-off, police operatives were able to track down and apprehend the suspect, leading to the arrest of other members of the syndicate. The police public relations officer explained that during the investigation, 80 wristwatches, 9 cell phones, and a knife were recovered from the suspect as exhibit. He further said that the State Commissioner of Police, Bello Shehu, commended the operative for a good job well done and appreciated the support of the public. Alihu quoted the Commissioner of Police as urging the public to continue providing useful information that would aid in the fight against crime and criminality in the state. He further stated that the suspect would be charged in court after investigations. And now let's take a story from Adamawa State, still from the police. The Adamawa State Police Command has intensified security operations in Sheleng local government area of the state, following a series of violent attacks on cattle rearers. The move follows reports that suspected assailant ambushed herders in separate incidents, killing some and injuring others, as well as targeting livestock. In response, the Commissioner of Police, Damkombo Morris, ordered the immediate deployment of additional tactical and intelligence units to the affected areas. He directed the personnel to act swiftly, professionally, and strategically to prevent further violence and restore confidence among residents. Morris said the command remains fully committed to protecting the lives and property of citizens. He appealed to residents to cooperate with security agencies by providing credible information that could aid in preventing and responding to criminal activities. The police said deployment forms part of the ongoing effort by the command to strengthen security across border communities in Adamawa State, particularly those prone to banditry and communal attacks. The police further assured that normalcy would soon be fully restored to the affected communities. Nasarawa State Command of Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has recorded a major breakthrough in its fight against criminality as it neutralized 2 suspected kidnappers, arresting 2 others, and recovering several weapons during a joint operation in Lafayette and surrounding communities. A statement by the command's public relations officer, Jerry Victor, said the operation was carried out by the Commandant's Crack Squad in collaboration with the Commandant General's Special Intelligence Squad. He said the NSCDC operatives acting on credible intelligence intercepted a group of armed kidnappers who were planning to abduct residents along Bukan Arikiri Kill Road, Shabu, Sabun Pegi, Azuba, and other parts of Lafia metropolis. Recovered items from the scene include one AK-47 rifle, one AK-47 magazine, 40 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 5 mobile phones, 2 knives, and substance suspected to be charms. The Bauchi State Police Command has also made some arrests, arresting 6 suspected kidnappers and successfully rescued 3 abducted individuals following a coordinated operation in Toro local government area of the state. The incident began when a distress call was made by a resident of Igwa village, alerting the police to the abduction of 3 men, Idi Umar, Idi Lawan, and Musa Lawal, by unidentified gunmen. In response, the police mobilized a joint team made up of personnel from the Toro Area Command, Toro Division, Nabordo Division, and local vigilante groups. The police said the combined team swiftly launched a search and rescue mission, tracking the suspect of a remote location on the outskirts of the village. During the operation, officers engaged with the suspect and were able to rescue the 3 hostages unharmed. The victims were immediately provided with medical checks and have since been reunited with their families in stable conditions. The 2025 Formidable Female Conference has been officially launched with a powerful message of empowerment, unity, and transformation for women across Nigeria and the African continent. Speaking at the event, founder and president of Formidable Female, Judith Israel Shuaibu, emphasized that the annual conference serves as a vibrant community of women committed to building leadership capacity among other women, especially those for challenging or chaotic backgrounds. She noted that the platform is dedicated to identifying, supporting, and nurturing aspiring female leaders in various sectors across Africa.
So for Formidable Female, we're a community of women who come together to make sure that we help women develop leadership and become leaders in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. And we especially support, grow, and develop women who grew up with chaotic backgrounds, who aspire for leadership in various sectors.
Also addressing attendees, Yusuf Dantale, National Chairman of the Allied People's Movement and current Chairman of all registered political parties in Nigeria, pledged support for greater inclusion of women in Nigeria's political landscape. Dantale said that it will become unhealthy when countries like Kenya and Rwanda are surpassing Nigeria in gender inclusion. He commended the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, for introducing a bill proposing special seats for women in the National Assembly, calling it a bold and necessary step toward gender equity.
And you have 70%. So that is exclusively for the women. So the general seats will still be there for any woman who want to contest, can come in. So what it means is a wider scope for the women to play around.
Former Kogi State gubernatorial aspirant Rukaya Ibrahim encouraged Nigerian women to actively pursue political leadership roles without fear.
You know, a lot of women right now, they are scared. Do you know why they are scared? Because they feel like we that are the voice of the voiceless are being oppressed. They don't want us to come out. They don't want us to say our mind. They don't want us to get to our goal, because they feel like if we get there, so many women will be interested in coming out to do politics. And you know, the Nigerian men, especially our northern men, they don't want women to be independent. And helping women to be independent will help the nation. Because if you look at it, we women, we are very strong. We have power. Do you know why we have power? We are the one that goes to elect the men to politics.
The Formidable Female Conference 2025 is setting the stage for meaningful conversation and strategic effort actions aimed at increasing women's participation in leadership and governance throughout Africa. We have more news after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you, Juliet. I am Ekenim Chuko Ojuyanam, and this is Business News. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved a 250 billion naira credit facility for smallholder farmers across the country as part of efforts to boost food production and strengthen Nigeria's agricultural value chain. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, announced the initiative during a press conference in Abuja to mark the 2025 World Food Day and the 80th anniversary of the Food and Agricultural Organization. He said the facility will be assessed at the single-digit interest rates and is aimed at supporting smallholder farmers to expand production, improve yields, and contribute to food security. The minister also revealed that President Tinubu has approved the recapitalization of the Bank of Agriculture with 1.5 trillion naira to enhance its capacity to provide larger and more accessible funding for farmers and agricultural investors across the country. Kyari explained that the new credit scheme complements other agricultural reforms introduced by the Tinubu administration to stabilize food prices, strengthen value chains, and ensure Nigeria's self-sufficiency in food production. Meanwhile, the German Development Cooperation Project MOVE, implemented by GIZ, the German Corporation for International Cooperation, in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. The Food and Agriculture Organization and other development partners has launched the Eat Nigerian campaign to commemorate World Food Day. The initiative, co-financed by the Gates Foundation and the European Union, seeks to encourage Nigerians to consume locally produced rice and support local farmers to achieve economic growth and national food security. National Chairman of the Competitive African Rice Forum for Sustainable Development and Chairman of the Rice Millers Association of Nigeria, Peter Dama, said the campaign is a movement that calls on Nigerians to recognize the value of their own produce and to support local production. In another development, the National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, has entered into a strategic partnership with agribusiness firm Arzikin Noma Farms to execute a renewable mega farm settlement project in Kwara State. The agreement, formalized through a memorandum of understanding signed in Abuja, marks a significant step in NALDA's ongoing efforts to establish fully serviced agricultural clusters across Nigeria. At a signing ceremony, NALDA's Executive Secretary Olusegun Adebayo said the farm estate located in Ora local government area will be managed and funded by Arzikin Noma Farms, while NALDA will provide key infrastructure. He said the initiative aligned with President Bola Tinubu's agenda to reposition agriculture as a profitable and appealing sector for Nigerians. The Ora Farm project is one of several cluster farm developments currently underway, with additional sites in Ilawe, Ekiti states, and Bauchi state. Over 8,000 hectares have already been cleared across the 3 locations. And that's it on Business News. Thanks for watching. Up next is Global Update with Hawa.
Thank you, Ekene. Welcome to Global Update. I am Hawa Umar. Let's dive in and see what's making the headlines. At least 2 people have been killed in Nairobi on Thursday after the Kenyan police fired at crowds of mourners gathered to see the body of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Kenya's head of police operations, Adamson Bunge, confirmed the shooting at the 60,000 capacity soccer stadium in the capital, Nairobi, where the viewing was to take place ahead of the funeral over the weekend. Tensions rose when crowds surged and tried to breach a gate in the stadium. Police fired both live bullets and tear gas at the mourners. Bunge confirmed the death of 2 people, but several unconfirmed reports from local media said the death toll has increased to 4. The police intervention dispersed mourners who fled towards the stadium gates. A stampede erupted, leaving an unknown number of people injured. Public viewing eventually took place after calm returned in the evening. Friday has been declared a public holiday, and Kenyans are expected to gather at a different football stadium in Nairobi for a state funeral service. Odinga will be given a state funeral on Sunday at his rural home of Bondo in western Kenya. In another development, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met with his Moroccan counterpart Nasser Bourita for bilateral talks in Moscow on Thursday. The Russian Foreign Minister said in a statement that the two diplomats signed a memorandum of understanding on the creation of a joint committee to deepen the strategic partnership between Russia and Morocco. Lavrov and Bourita also discussed the war in Gaza. They expressed satisfaction with the ongoing implementation of the first phase of ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Lavrov praised Morocco's role in promoting efforts to achieve a peaceful settlement of the Palestinian issue. Bourita in turn said that both countries shared a common understanding of a current development in the Middle East. The controversial U.S. and Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has confirmed its suspended operations in Gaza after the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas came into effect on the 10th of October 2025. Despite being funded until November, the organization said its final delivery was on Friday. The GHF has been heavily criticized after hundreds of Palestinians were killed while collecting food near its distribution site. Witnesses say most were killed by Israeli forces. Israel has consistently denied that its forces opened fire on civilians at or near the locations, while the GHF has managed that aid distribution at its facilities has proceeded smoothly and without incident. Meanwhile, analysis of UN-supplied data shows little change in the aid collected from crossings after the ceasefire deal came into effect last Friday. The daily volume of aid leaving Israeli-controlled crossings, the UN's measure of aid delivery, has seen a slight increase from the previous week, but remains consistent with the levels recorded in September. And that's it on this bulletin. Over to you, Margaret.
Hello, welcome to the Sports Review. It's good to have you join us. As Nigeria is set to take on Gabon in the African playoffs for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, head coach of the Gabon side, Thierry Muyuma, has said his players are ready to battle the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Thierry Muyuma's side came second with 25 points in Group F, 1 point behind group leaders Côte d'Ivoire, qualified automatically from the group. The Gabon side produced an impressive performance in the qualifying stages after recording 8 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat. Reflecting on his team's campaign and their failure to secure automatic qualification despite their huge point tally, Muyuma described it as tough to take. Gabon will face a Super Eagles team that placed second in Group C behind Bafana of South Africa, who will make a first World Cup appearance since 2010. The African playoffs will take place from November 13 to 16 in Morocco and will pit Nigeria against Gabon and Cameroon against DR Congo. The overall winner will advance to the Intercontinental Playoffs slated for March 2026 in Mexico. And to the Nigerian Premier Football League, football fans across Nigeria are in for another thrilling weekend as the Nigerian Premier Football League enters another round of fixtures on Saturday and Sunday, October 18 and 19, 2025. The action kicks off on Saturday with Bendel Insurance set to welcome Rivers United in what promises to be a tough contest at the Samuel Ogbomoja Stadium, Benin City. Both teams will be looking to secure maximum points to improve their standing on the league table. A full slate of matches follows on Sunday with several mouth-watering encounters lined up across the country. In Ibadan, Shooting Stars will host Abia Warriors while Eyimba International take on Warri Wolves in Aba. Elsewhere, Remo Stars will battle Rangers International in Ikenne, a fixture many fans are tagging as the match of the weekend, giving both sides impressive form. Kwara United will welcome Katsina United to Ilorin, while Niger Tornadoes face Plateau United in Minna. Other fixtures will see Ikorodu City clash with Nasarawa United. Barao FC host Kano Pillars, Bayelsa United take on Kun Khalifat FC, and El Kanami Warriors lock horns with Wiki Tourist. All matches are scheduled for 4 p.m. local time except the Saturday opener in Benin, which will also kick off at the same hour. With several title contenders and informed sides in action, fans are expecting a weekend packed with goals, drama and surprises across MPFA venues. In the EPL, the weekend's action begins on Saturday as Nottingham Forest host Chelsea at the City Ground, with the Blues hoping to continue their climb up the table. Brighton will face Newcastle United in what promises to be a tactical battle at the Amex Stadium, while Burnley takes on Leeds United. Elsewhere, Crystal Palace welcome Bournemouth, and Manchester City will look to extend their impressive form when they host Everton at the Etihad Stadium. Sunderland are set to battle Wolverhampton Wanderers, while Fulham and Arsenal will lock horns in a London derby at Craven Cottage. On Sunday, all eyes will be on North London, where Tottenham Hotspur host Aston Villa in a crucial fixture that could have European qualification implications. However, the standout tie of the weekend is the fierce rivalry between Liverpool and Manchester United at Anfield. The clash is expected to draw global attention as both sides fight for early season dominance. With title chasers, mid-table contenders all in action, Premier League fans can expect another weekend filled with drama, goals, and unforgettable moments across England. And that ends Sport Review. Thank you for joining us. My name is Margaret Ogumesi. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for joining us as we bring you top stories. Here are the recaps of our major stories. Senate confirms Professor Josh Amopitan as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Bandits kill 8 security personnel in Zamfara State. Attorney General of the Federation and the Ministry of Justice Lateef Fagbemi says government is set to review inmate granted clemency by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Kenya police opens fire at crowds mourning the death of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, killing at least 2 people. With that brings us to the end of the bulletin. Keep watching Third Eye Africa TV. I am Juliet Onra.